Welcome to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Yes, hello and welcome back to the Kop TV, the voice of football's most famous stand. Never forget it. Another episode of Hot Kopics, back in Jurgen's, back with my brother James. Episode 18, I think we're on now.
Hey, we're getting there, lads. We're going to be at 50 before you know it. It'd be nice for episode 18 to be a bit more positive.
Yeah, we'll try. We'll try.
We'll try our best. We'll try and be confident, because there's a mixture between the fan base at the moment about the title race. Obviously, it's January, so there's loads of transfers. Big game against Chelsea just concluded, which I'm sure we're going to get into. So I'll let you segue wherever we're going to start.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we know we're in for more, us guys, but we still ask you to like the
comment, subscribe. All the good business, and obviously check out the fan cams from the Chelsea game yesterday.
Check out the fan cams, some good stuff. Also, James is going to be uploading back on his channel soon. I know that's another thing that people are asking about.
Yeah,
so
people are getting
touch on that towards the end.
Of course,
but yeah, you mentioned the game yesterday. I mean, I was watching it in here. It was some atmosphere when we were winning. Yeah. But then, almost as if we kind of knew what would happen if we did go 2 goals up, happened.
Yeah,
and we can try and pick out all the positives, as many as we want, and trust me, there is some. Kelleher's won, Salah's goal, Mane's back to form maybe, but the headline remains: Liverpool throw away a 2-goal lead again.
Well, we've done a lot of fan cams this season, a lot of great content, and I feel like there's going to be a point where we're going to be able to do a compilation of all the best moments, and that's going to be a sick little video.
It's a great idea, actually.
But I know, giving your ideas on the show.
Let's know if you want to see a best of the fan
of course, you don't even need to ask them. It's like saying you want $1 million. No, listen, the way I've always said it, while trying to be positive, after games like Brentford, after games like Brighton, City, even Chelsea the first time, we go 1-0 up or 2-0 up, and then we give it away. And Carragher said it perfectly on Sky Sports. The difference between Man City and Liverpool have been in the lead 17 times this season, and they've only won 12 of them. Manchester City have took the lead 17 times this season and won every single time. That's the difference, and that's why Liverpool can't be constantly thrown away. And you know what? I never even thought about it when I was watching the game, because when it went to 2-1, I was like, it's just going to be one of those days. I never thought that's another game where we threw away a comfortable lead. 2-0 up against a depleted Chelsea. Chelsea, the atmosphere was booming for sure. The team was still playing well for sure. Even Tuchel, the way he set up that game, perfect. Literally, got Klopp down to a T, even though Klopp weren't there. So I just think of it as, we've missed another opportunity, and it's why it's hard to... Because you know what's mad? I don't think we're out the title race, because there's been situations in the Premier League before where teams are however many points behind, they've been able to make a comeback. We're in December, and if you think about it, we've got a game in hand. January. So if we've got a game in hand over City, we've still got to play them at their place. So win that game in hand, close the gap by 3 points. Beat them at their place, close the gap by 3 points. 6 points. You can't hope on other teams, but can you rely on Liverpool to go ahead, pull a string of wins together, and not be worried about when they're in the lead? I don't know if I can say comfortably I'm 100% safe.
Yeah, I mean, unless we go 3-0 up.
Well, that's another thing that I hate, though, Alex. I hate the fact we have to score 3 or 4 goals.
Because going back to 1920, we go 1-0 up in the 5th minute and we probably win the game 1-0, or we go 1-0 and then we win it in the last minute with a 2-1. If you actually look back at that season where you mentioned it,
a lot of it were 3-0s and 4-0s.
No, I'm saying it was close.
You're right.
But that kind of cloak of, it's all right, we'll win this game still, that's kind of disappeared for me. Yeah. And when we go 2-0 up, after some unbelievable goals, I have to say, from both Mane and Salah, that is the point where you go, right, we're 2-0 up, let's get to half-time. I was saying on the vlog yesterday, if we concede before half-time, our heads will go. Not only did we concede 1, we conceded 2, and maybe even should have conceded 3. We could have been 3-2 down in that first half. So the difference between a 1920, where we comfortably saw games out, and we were never really worried that we were going to concede 2, because we didn't give that many chances away. We weren't going to concede too many goals, but that's kind of gone now.
But that's because
it's almost every time they get an attack or a shot, it goes in almost.
Do you know why that is? It's because we don't control games. And we're a lot more open. There's nothing wrong with having a high line. People keep mentioning this high line like it's the only problem. No, that's how you win games. That's how you assert your dominance on the opposition by letting them know, giving the pressure and, you know, making them fold essentially. But what Liverpool have had a problem with is keeping the control of those games. The reason why Man City can struggle against an Arsenal and still sneak the 3 points is because they control the game. Yeah. Arsenal fans were saying they deserve to win it, maybe based off a few decisions, but in the main, mate, you got outplayed. Man City had the ball for the majority of the game. They still had good chances.
They can't say they controlled that game.
Not a chance. Not a chance. The reason why they're saying they should have won, and I can understand this point, is because they had the bigger moments. Refereeing decisions went against them for sure. But you know that happens in football. So got to give yourself the best possible chance if that does happen. That's why us Liverpool. That's why I love it when we do control games. That's why I love the season we won the league. A lot of people have said the season before, where we got to the final and we got 97 points and finished second. Oh no, sorry, when we won the Champions League, should I say. When that season was also a very controlled season, but since then, this year it's given me very 13-14 vibes, and I just think Van Dijk and Matip is clear of what we had in 13-14 at the back for sure, but it's still, the goals are still leaking, so why is that? And that's what we need to find out, and we need to find out soon before it costs us in other competitions.
Well, I was saying last night on the fan camps, I do believe that was it for us last night. I do think we're out of time.
Do you want me to tell you something about it?
But, on the other hand, like you said, there's still games to play, there's still points to be won over City. However, we've now dropped points in 8 games this season. We've drawn 6 and lost 2 games. I personally feel like that's only going to get bigger and bigger if we carry on the way we're playing.
Which it looks like we will. We've got no Mane.
Teams that draw 6 and lose 2 don't win the league, James.
And now we've got no Mane. You've just mentioned about how it's hard for us to take our chance. We've got no Mane, we've got no Salah there now going for however many games. They're going to be missing semi-finals in the League Cup. And that's why it's went from, we could maybe win or we can compete for every competition, to now thinking,
let's focus on the cups.
Yeah, but even in the cups, like, you can't afford to be throwing away leads. I don't want to be negative and I don't want to say we can't win the Champions League. Of course we can win it. We can win the Prem, but are we giving ourselves the best possible chance? I don't think we are. If we do that against the Real Madrid, we're fucked. We do that against the PSG, we're fucked. Like, no matter who it is, a big opposition, they'll hate us with their quality.
Yeah, it's tough to kind of imagine how we've gone from us saying, we're 100% going to win.
But that's because we were in a string of form. Before it was anomalies. It was just a few things that didn't really make sense.
We drew at home to Brighton, but don't worry, we'll
go on another however. And even when we lost to West Ham, think about it. Like, we went on a big long winning streak after that, but now. Drop points against Leicester, drop points against Tottenham, drop points against Chelsea, drop points against, Chelsea both times, drop points against City. They're the games you need to win to win the league, bro.
And how many goals in those games, for instance, Salah versus City, deserve to be match-winning goals by the
individual
way? You look at Salah's goal at Chelsea yesterday, that's a match-winning goal.
Yeah.
In terms of quality.
Individual brilliance.
Yeah, so the amount of almost, not wasted goals, you don't like to say that, but you think, wow.
And Mane's goal was
Salah was putting in the work for these goals to count, and then we just throw them away.
And even the shot that he had in the second half, by the way, which was a great effort, great save from Mendy.
What a save that. What was better, the shot or the save?
The save, because he had to be on his toes for it, but the effort was brilliant. And especially because you don't see Salah go for those efforts.
He did that one time when Edison came off his line at Anfield and he scored from 40 yards. I do remember that.
Edison came out.
But I know what you mean.
Mendy was still kind of
out, really.
Yeah, exactly.
To even take that shot, you have to be 2 steps ahead, because there's no way. We'll watch the replay soon. When the ball comes to him, he doesn't look up and think, there's a chance. He just... it all happens.
It's like just one glimpse and let's go, let's hope for the best.
And it's
sometimes
almost
you need
in the top corner from 35 yards out.
Sometimes you need that, man. Mane's goal was gifted. I thought Chelsea could have been a couple of goals up by the time we got our first goal, and then the second half they just controlled the game again. It was very frustrating.
We didn't really control the game how we did maybe in the first 25 minutes in the second half, which was especially frustrating because we've just conceded 2. Yeah. If that half went on for 5 minutes longer, there's no doubt in my mind we'd be going in 3-2 down at half time.
Do you remember at the first game of the season when I got a bit of stick because I was saying Chelsea fans are celebrating a draw at Anfield?
And when you said, was that Ashley Barnes or Lukaku?
Yeah. Do you remember that? Well, actually, in hindsight, that comment's done very well for me. I think even Chelsea fans will love me for that comment now. But the point being is, at that game I was saying Chelsea fans are celebrating a draw. That's how I knew they weren't ready for this title race, because you don't know that a draw against the big sides is actually what's going to fuck you up by the time it gets to the end of the season. That's why we're not celebrating a draw. However, I was happy we got a draw out of that game in the end, because we could have easily lost. Do you know what I mean? And I weren't happy for the draw because it keeps us in the title race. Obviously not. That's the reason why I don't like the draw. I like the draw because it could have been a loss, and the draw against Chelsea is never as bad. But now, if you ask me, if I had to put all my money on it, this is what I'd say. Go for the Cups. That's your best chance. The league, it's looking very bleak.
Yeah, listen, we've got 2 trophies here. Let's at least win one and maybe one more.
I'll take that one. I'll take that one. I'll take you as well, but I'll take that one because that one's more realistic at this moment. So
fair enough. Well, listen, let us know in the comments what is realistic for Liverpool now. You've seen the fan cams, there's people saying we're still in the race, people saying we're still out. We want to know what you're thinking. Also, speaking of cups, we've got 2 massive cups to contend. Well, again, let us know in the comments if you do think they're massive cups. Arsenal. But I personally feel like a semi-final, a 2-legger against Arsenal in the League Cup is massive.
This League Cup
but
is
then Shrewsbury
huge.
To start off our FA Cup campaign
fuck
this Sunday.
Shrewsbury. Nah,
fair enough.
That's fair enough. Nah, the reason why I'm saying fuck Shrewsbury is because you are in a semi-final. You go all kids against Shrewsbury and all first team against Arsenal. Like, I would much prefer to finish 2nd or 3rd with a League Cup than just finish 2nd. Yeah. Like, let's be real with ourselves. A piece of silverware would be ideal. Klopp has won 4 trophies in 5 full seasons. By the way, I hear rival fans keep saying, oh, Jurgen Klopp, he's won 1 league in 6 years. First of all, it's 1 league in 5 years. 3 of those seasons he needed to rebuild us. So it's not as bad as people suggest. But this instance, if you win the League Cup, that's 5 trophies in 6 full seasons. If it's just the League Cup, which doesn't seem as bad, and then he only needs to win the FA Cup, and then he's won all of them for us. Yeah. So that's why I'm saying this is all the more huge, because it really can define our season and be the difference of a successful season or not. And Arsenal's a huge game, and I still have a little weird feeling we're going to rotate, which I hope we don't do.
Well, who can we play? Who is our first strength team? Because you've seen Salah and Mane are on the plane now to Senegal.
People forget.
So Cameroon might beg my pardon, for AFCON, which, listen, a lot's been said about AFCON. One thing that I wanted to say about it is, if people were talking about AFCON in the way that we glamorise the Euros or the World Cup, I think no one would bat an eyelid. But as soon as the conversation of AFCON, it's disrupting it, I think there has been some disrespect towards this competition.
There's disrespect towards the competition.
And I can wish nothing but good stuff for the competition itself, but also for our players to come back with some silverware.
Well, people don't realise that, you know, this is huge for the nation of Africa.
This is their World Cup. This is their Euros.
This is their moment.
Champions
this is
League,
massive. You know, this is what people don't realise. Like, Mane and Salah are huge where they come from, and of course, if you want to see them go away, you're going to want to see them go away and win. But at the same time, to contrast that for selfish reasons, the sooner they get knocked out, the sooner they're back to us.
I'm not going to say that, but if that happens, then that would be cool.
I'm not going to lie, yes, Senegal, Egypt, I'm sorry, but if you could get knocked out in the group stages, that would be marvellous. But no, the competition itself should be more respected, but I think it's been disrespected by the competition itself, because of all the little chop and changes they've done, all the updates they've been given. They haven't properly prepared it, like a Euros, like a World Cup, so it's their own doing, really. And when I say their own doing, I mean the AFCON, like the people who run the AFCON, they're the ones who have made this a bit of a headache for the fans who are going to be watching.
There's been issues with security and if there's actual COVID kind of regular.
Yeah, of course.
So listen, in their ideal world, they wouldn't have picked for a pandemic to be happening at the time, obviously not, but you have to roll with the punches. But as a tournament, I'm going to be tuning in, I'm going to be watching it, so big up to AFCON either way. But it does mean that with those guys out and Keita, who is our strongest 11 for Arsenal
Keita,
now?
man, like Keita's fit
Who's going to play up front for Liverpool on Thursday night?
Keita's fit at the moment, and he's not going to be available.
Yeah.
So, like, people can say all they want, oh, it's just Mane and Salah. No, Keita's huge, especially for the situation we're in right now. He's been in great form this season, Keita, when he's played. As for the game against Arsenal, we're probably going to see Firmino and Jota, or say when you go your first strong 11, Firmino and Jota's the choice. I think that could be a blessing or not. Like, I know that's a very Michael Owen thing to say, but I mean, Mane's going. He's been in bad form. If Firmino comes into the false 9, does well again, Jota goes to the left and keeps the same form that he's been doing in the number 9, maybe we've noticed something different. Maybe that could be the front 3 going forward, because you do need to go with the players that are in form. Firmino was great before he got injured. Jota's shown he can do well on the left before. Why not give it a go?
Who else would you play with him?
Minamino, or
do you think Klopp's maybe been holding back Minamino and Origi for this busy period? Because let's be honest, bro, in this next 3 games, Arsenal, Shrewsbury, Arsenal, I would say those 3 have to start up front every single game.
Minamino and
at least 3 out of those 4.
Yeah, well, I think the best front 3 that I prefer is Firmino, Jota and Origi. But I don't know how you organise that, like, because they're all in a way like strikers. Do you know what I mean? So you're probably
not going to put Firmino on the right, and you wouldn't put Origi on the right.
I don't want Origi on the left either.
Could Ox play there against his former club?
Right, this is one thing I'm always saying. Why is and you know that was a Jurgen Klopp choice to do yesterday, bringing on Ox at false 9. Why does he keep playing false 9? I like the idea before I've seen it. I've seen it now. I don't like it.
I think the Ox thinks that's his best position.
I don't give a fuck. The manager should know what your best position is. You don't. Do you know what I mean? I like Ox in midfield.
If anything, I'd play him on the left.
I'd play him on either wing.
So he can cut in. I mean, I'd take him on any wing, but if he's going to play and you're sacrificing him in the midfield,
tell him to be like a left midfielder type of player, someone who's going to cut in a lot more and try and receive that ball on his right foot.
Did yesterday.
What a goal that was.
Good finish that.
Shout out to Kovacic as well, one of the most underrated players in the Premier League.
What a goal. I mean, that's a kind of strike that you could do that 100 times.
It was the way he stood it down, his left foot into the grass, adjusted his body, and then just let it roll. It was like a P-roller, but it still hit his foot.
Mad topspin
and just
on it.
Span. Yeah. There was no way the Irish Iker Casillas was getting that, man.
Big up to the Irish Iker Casillas, though, because he will be playing against Arsenal unless Adrian plays, for goodness sake.
Adrian's finished. If Adrian plays over Kelleher, then Klopp we've got to ask questions about Klopp.
This is Mane's goal from yesterday. Takes it really well on the penalty spot, there or thereabouts.
I'd say he got lucky. I think Azpilicueta could have maybe done better.
Could have blocked that off the line. But what's your prediction then for the next 3 games? Because all cup games, Liverpool are, in some people's eyes, a cup team. We should be beating, I think, winning all these 3 games and getting into the final of the League Cup, where we could play Tottenham. Was it Chelsea? Tottenham or Chelsea in the other semi?
Yeah.
So that's going to be fucking hard.
This is the way I see it. Draw in the first game against Arsenal. Probably a draw against Shrewsbury to cause a return leg.
No replays.
Okay, then we'll win in extra time or penalties. I think we'll win in extra time or penalties, and then the second leg we'll beat Arsenal. So draw in the first one, draw in the 90 minutes against Shrewsbury, but we'll get through, and then we'll beat Arsenal.
Very precise. Let us know how important you think this next week, 10 days is for Liverpool before we go back to the Premier League against Brentford at home, which, by the way, is a tough game. They've just beaten Aston Villa at home. Ivan Toney is going to be looking at our defence going, I'm ready to score goals and get signed by Liverpool myself.
Yeah.
So he's going to be hunting us down. Listen, the next 2 weeks, I know I've said it a lot of times this season already, but these next 2 weeks define how the rest of the season goes. Let's say this. The next 2 weeks we lose every game, we're out of the League Cup and FA Cup. Then we have to really rely on this, but we have to do as well as we can in that. Yeah. Or we get to the final of the League Cup, we get through to Shrewsbury, and let's not forget, when that next FA Cup game comes around, we're going to have a lot of players back, I think. And then we beat Brentford and everything's looking rosy again. The next 10 to 14 days are so big.
I just miss it when we were like undefeated in all competitions, and like I could call Minamino the Japanese Messi, like, you know, I could call Origi fucking the greatest striker of all time. First loss of the season
was West Ham, wasn't it?
What?
In any comp?
Yeah.
Still unbelievable.
Nah, this is the thing as well. Like the only reason why we're harsh on these players, because I don't want it to seem like when I talk about Liverpool possibly not winning any, and I'm shitting on these players, they just live in an era where there's a team better than them, and it's so shit. Because the things that the points that we accumulate by the end of the season, this team could have 3 Premier Leagues, like 2 Champions Leagues if we were lucky enough. That's why it's frustrating, because we are a good side, man, but now it only this is why I've always said to you, and it's why I didn't think Chelsea were ready for the title race, because you do not know the margins that actually go into these title races with Man City. It's why I say it's one of the most impressive things ever in Premier League history that we beat them to it, because people say Leicester was a great achievement for sure, but everyone was off course that year. Ever since, City have dominated the league. The season Leicester won it, that was Pep's first season. Ever since, they've dominated it. The only time they've even got close was when we got 97 points and when we actually beat them to it. So it's unbelievable what we've done. But what it reads on the sign of Jurgen Klopp achievements is 1 Premier League, and that's shit.
And I think because these players have set a level that we've never actually seen before as Liverpool Football Club, we expect them to stay true to that level every week. And when they don't, when we are throwing away goals, we are criticising.
Throwing away goals deserves to be criticised.
Whatever level you are, you don't concede that many goals, especially if you're 2-0 up. However, when you do concede them, you want to be you don't want to be harsh because you're thinking, look at all the amazing points that they've achieved. But at the same time, because you've made this level for yourself, anything below that, and we're going to be on your back. And it's just
in Sunday League, you play Sunday League, you'd be fuming if your team gave away a lead.
Yeah.
In any situation, we're going to be fuming.
Regularly.
And the only reason why we fume as fans is because we care. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's why I try and not go too in on play. I'll say if they've played shit, but I won't call them names. I won't do it. They don't deserve that because they're all good lads. Like, I love every player who wears a Liverpool shirt for their own little different reason. I love Oxlade, even though he hasn't been that good, and I love other players. But they do need to do much better in those leading situations because that will define these players as one of the greatest. Yeah, let me ask you this. Let me put it in this way. Do you think Alisson's the best goalkeeper in the world? There and thereabouts. Do you think Van Dijk's best centre-back?
Yeah.
Would you say Salah's the best player?
Yeah.
Trent best right-back?
Yeah.
With all them play, Robbo best left-back? Yeah. With all them players, would you say Jurgen Klopp's the best manager in the world? There and thereabouts.
Top two.
So we are all that in place.
So we're top two in everything.
We should be winning more.
We should be.
With all that.
Yeah. So that's why we need to win the League Cup games against Arsenal and Shrewsbury.
When I say all this, like, I'm not 100% right. This is just my perspective. It's why I love it when people comment with their opinions as well, because it gives me a sort of, like, I like to be open-minded to what could actually be wrong, and are we overreacting or are we underreacting? Should we be achieving more? And it's just when I put it like that, I was thinking the other day, when I think Alisson's the best goalkeeper, I think he's the best left-back, best right-back, best player, best Henderson, the best captain.
Should equal more trophies.
Should be getting more trophies.
Yeah. Well, that's the key, isn't it? I mean, I don't want to be one of those guys that says football's all about trophies. However, when you have that many good players in those positions, surely that should equal some kind of period of dominance. Yeah. But again, we are living in this era where there's one team that has better players than us. We're literally the best apart from them.
Yeah.
But then you go back 10 years and you go, well, we had a great team with Torres, Gerrard, but there was 3 teams better than us. There was Chelsea, Arsenal and United probably, and City were coming through.
And in that team with Torres, there was no definitive players besides Gerrard, Torres, when he was at his real pomp, that you could say he's the best player in the world. Like, you know, Man United had a lot of the best players.
We could maybe say we had one at most, I would say, world, maybe best in their position in the whole world.
But in this squad, you can argue everyone.
We could say 5 or 6.
Yeah, you could argue.
We got 7 Ballon d'Or nominations in 2020.
Even without,
that's the most, that's the record. We had 7 in one team.
Even without Mané's bad form, you can still argue he's there and thereabouts for the best left winger.
Top 5.
You know what I mean? Top 5 with his bad form into place. But if you go before last season, a lot of people would have put him as the best.
He was 4th in the Ballon d'Or.
I remember everyone was calling me Mr. Khmach about Mané. You know what I mean? Saying, you're right, you've all changed now, you dickheads. They all think I said it yesterday.
I know, it's been a while, that video.
It's been 4 years.
Right, there's the cup games that we need to navigate through. They're going to be difficult. Let's talk about transfers, because the window is open. Obviously, we need to add to the squad, I would say that. I say it obviously because the one thing I said to you way back in August, I could almost visualise what the headlines were going to be. Injuries cost Liverpool title race, or injury cost. So, foreshadowing that, surely, we should be investing in the squad. We haven't bought anyone since Jota, right? Oh, we bought what? Man like
Konate.
Sorry, we bought Konate. Sorry, I say sorry for that because he is.
Don't worry, you haven't got many signings to remember, so I'm sure that people.
What's that? Don Phillips.
Ben Davies.
Ben Davies. I'm not even counting him because he never even played a pro game. However,
he's going to be Nat Phillips' replacement.
Can't replace Nat Phillips. Doesn't happen. But again, we're talking about selling him for 15 mil.
Yeah.
And they're just, again, we enter another window where there seems to be no noise, bro, about who we're going to bring in because we need someone. Say if
you belled me in the morning and was like, yo, James, fucking come round ours, lad, we'll have a little cuppa, you know what I mean? We'll talk about the topics that we're going to be doing on Hot Kopics today. I'll get on this and you say, on your way, can you get me some milk? Can you get me some? And I come in with no milk. And I go to you, well, you said, can I get you some milk? That's FSG with dough. It's like, yeah, I can spend, but I'm not going to. So
they've just bought another team
in America. This is what I'm saying. So, like, we can talk about, oh, we need this position, we need this one. And people then say, but Jurgen Klopp wants a small squad, which an element of that might be true, but how are you going to turn down obvious reinforcement that's going to help your team? How many times has Pep Guardiola bought a player that he didn't need there and then? Jack Grealish is the prime example. Not someone you need right now, but don't be surprised to see Jack Grealish turn it up in 2 or 3 seasons. The same way that Bernardo Silva's had an impact on City, because he never walked right into City's team. That took a little bit of a while, and now he's the one who's... A lot of fans are saying he's competing with Salah as the best player in the league. Even though I disagree with that, I can understand the argument, because he has been brilliant. So Jack Grealish has a similar effect. Why can't we go out and buy... I don't know, Tielemans, just because it's the first name that goes to my head. Why can't you go out and buy Tielemans, and whether or not he starts straight away, so at least it's an option.
What do we need now?
Forward.
Need a
whether
forward?
That's a winger or a striker, because I think...
One that can play in all of them, or an out-and-out number 9? Or...
I'd love Ivan Toney, but I'd also love a winger, because, like, realistically, a winger with the system that we play can interchange. And I like Jota. I think Jota's actually a good striker, number 9, whatever you want to use. I like Jota, so get a winger, get whoever you want there, whether that's Rafinha or...
Let's say I'm FSG, pretending that I have that.
I like this game.
Right? Let's say out of a striker and a winger, I'll give you one. I'll give you 3 signings in total. So you want a winger? I want a winger that can play in all 3 positions, because you're saving dough if you do that.
Yep.
What other 2 do you want?
I would love a... Do you know what? If you just give me a winger and a midfielder, FSG, I'll be nice to you. Give me a winger and a midfielder, and that's all I need. Because I'm happy with the defence.
Coming back.
I'm happy with the defence.
He's the long-term midfielder that we're all looking at.
Yeah.
The defence, you can't add to that. Yeah. But however, if Nat Phillips goes... Then, does Joe Gomez get more time because he wants to leave?
That's why I mentioned before about Ben Davies, because he's only out on loan at the moment, so he's probably going to be the Nat Phillips replacement.
Why don't we just have Nat Phillips as the Nat Phillips replacement?
Because I think he wants to go and get first team football, which you know, he's been good enough to do that.
Yeah, but listen, if you said to me, right, give me a striker and a winger, I'd do that for you, because there's a load of comments that I hate to see as well, which say FSG are wasting Klopp's best years.
And they already
Would you agree
have.
With that? By not investing enough in the squad, are they doing that?
Well, the Champions League that we lost to Real Madrid, you bring on Lallana, who's injury prone at the time, for Salah. What the fuck's that? And then even over the, we talk about the course of a season, these December periods, you need a big squad, and then even going forward, it just makes you think. Now, I look at our squad, I'm very happy with our backup back 4, I love our backup goalkeeper, even a lot of midfield options I'm very happy with, but a lot of them are injury prone, that's why I don't like them. And then when you go forward, we just need one more forward, and then I think we're okay. I don't think Minamino is the clutch player that can step up. Look at Minamino as an option compared to Man City's backup options, makes no sense. So that's why I only ask for a midfielder and a winger, because we don't even need anyone else. Anything else is just nitpicking, do you know what I mean? But we just need someone who can solidify those positions. Why let Shaqiri go and not replace him? Why let Gini Wijnaldum go and not replace him? Because that's all Liverpool done in the summer. Let them fuck off, recoup a bit of money and not replace them. How does that make that's why Jurgen Klopp not wanting more players is bollocks. Otherwise, why would he have them? And more importantly, why would he try and keep them? Because he wanted to keep Gini. That's my argument on the whole thing.
Listen, just before we leave, talk to me about uploading on the channel. I know people are saying we want you to upload.
Yeah, man. Do you know what it is, lad? Just long story short, about to get a little bit sort of deep with Redmond. Life just gets like that sometimes. You're my mate personally, lad, and you know that even though there's a lot of situations I could have handled better, which I'm man enough to admit, there's just times where it gets a bit scrambled and content and stuff. I still love doing content. It's why I do it with you. It's why I do it with everyone. But on my own channel, it's you're the person who's got to be the star. Then you've got to upload. Then you've got to edit. Then you've got to get all the tags and stuff right. I've just needed a little step back, but 100% some point very, very soon. I couldn't give you an exact date, but I will be back uploading on my channel. How regularly, I don't know, but for the games, previews and stuff like that, James Redmond TV is not going anywhere, so don't be worrying.
And also, me and you, first of all, I love that, but second of all, me and you are in London tomorrow to film with the AFTV guys for the preview for the game on Thursday. So there you go, Hot Kopics episode 18. It's been a pleasure. Let us know in the comments what you think, and we'll see you next time. Peace! Whoa, just before you go,
don't forget, give us a like, drop us a comment and subscribe to the Kop TV.
The voice of football's most famous stand.